All right, let's talk about something you see literally every day but probably don't give a second thought to: the painted lines that bring order to our world, starting with the humble parking lot. So you pull into a parking spot. Have you ever stopped and wondered, wait a minute, why is that line yellow and this one's white? It might seem totally random, but it's not. It's actually a highly organized system, a visual language that your brain understands in a split second. And you might be thinking, who cares? It's just paint. But getting this language right really, really matters. Get this, a staggering 1 in 5 car accidents happens in a parking lot. That's 20% of all collisions happening in these spots we think of as slow and safe. It's kind of wild, right? So yeah, these lines are so much more than just paint on asphalt. They're silent, universal language. They're the unspoken rules that turn a big, confusing slab of blacktop into an orderly space that keeps us all from bumping into each other. Okay, so to really appreciate this system, we need to jump in the time machine for a second. Let's go back to a time before these lines even existed. And trust me, it was a total free-for-all. Can you even imagine it? Before 1911, roads had no lines at all. It was basically a constant game of chicken between cars and horse-drawn buggies. The story goes that a road official in Michigan, a guy named Edward Hines, saw a milk wagon leaking a white trail down the road, and bam, light bulb moment. The first center line was born. But that didn't fix everything. For the next 60 years, it was pretty much the Wild West. A yellow line might mean one thing in one state and something totally different just across the border. Finally, in 1971, the federal government stepped in and said, okay, enough of this, and created one single rulebook for the whole country. And that brings us right back to our original question, because the meaning behind the colors you see every day isn't just a suggestion, it's all spelled out in that one official rulebook. That rulebook is the Manual on Uniform Traffic Control Devices, or, since that's a mouthful, everyone just calls it the MUTCD. You can pretty much think of it as the official dictionary for the language of the road. It's the whole reason a stop sign in California looks exactly like a stop sign in Maine. It creates predictability, and predictability is what keeps us safe. And at its heart, the logic is brilliantly simple. Each color has a job. White generally means go ahead. It's permissive. It shows you where you can go. Yellow means heads up. It's a caution sign. Blue is for accessibility, a kind of legal priority. And red? Well, red means stop, no, don't even think about it. Almost always for emergency access, like a fire lane. So let's settle it. The main event, white versus yellow. Once you know the rule, you'll see it everywhere. White lines separate traffic moving in the same direction. They're the neutral default color for standard parking spots. Yellow lines, on the other hand, are there to separate traffic moving in opposite directions. They're a warning. That's why you see them on no parking curbs or special loading zones. They're telling you to pay extra attention here. But it's not just about the color. Nope. The actual geometry of these lines, their angle, their width, their spacing, is just as critical to making a parking lot that actually works. You've definitely seen both of these layouts. First, you've got angled parking. It's so much easier to pull in and out of, and it naturally creates a nice one-way flow of traffic, which is perfect for busy places like a grocery store. Then you have your perpendicular, 90-degree parking. It's a little trickier to get into for sure, but it's way more space efficient. It's really the classic trade-off, convenience versus capacity. And none of this is guesswork. These dimensions are super specific for a reason. A standard parking stall is 9 feet wide, just enough room to open your door without dinging the car next to you. The line itself is precisely 4 inches wide. A two-way traffic lane needs a full 24 feet so cars can pass safely. These aren't random numbers. They're the carefully tested math that creates order from chaos. And the payoff for getting this stuff right is huge. I mean, research shows that a well-designed, clearly marked lot can increase its capacity by up to 20%. 20%! That's a massive improvement from just using paint and geometry the right way, all while making the entire place safer. So for over 100 years, this entire system has been designed for one specific user: the human driver. But a new kind of driver is showing up on our roads, and it definitely doesn't see the world the same way we do. I mean, just look at this. This whole visual language we've been talking about, it's been perfected over decades for the human eye and the human brain. But now we have to figure out how to teach all this same critical information to a machine. So here's the challenge. Autonomous vehicles, they use cameras to read the road to stay in their lane, but they don't see like we do. What researchers are finding is that machine vision is way more sensitive to things like line width, the contrast with the pavement, and faded paint. A line that's a little worn down might be no problem for us, but for an AV, it might as well be invisible. So how do we get our roads ready for robot drivers? Well, research is already pointing to a few key upgrades. For starters, making the lines wider. Just going from 4 inches to 6 inches makes a huge difference for the cameras. On light-colored concrete, adding a black border to the white lines creates that high contrast the machines need. And of course, the obvious one, we just have to get better at maintenance. Keeping those lines fresh and bright is about to become more critical than ever before. And that's really the whole point. As Ethan Peterson from the Minnesota Department of Transportation says, the goal is to get our infrastructure ready now. If we can make sure our roads can speak clearly to these automated systems, we can unlock their safety benefits right from the very beginning. It's pretty amazing when you stop and think about it. For 100 years, these simple lines of paint have been teaching us, the human drivers, the rules of the road. And now, the great challenge of our time is figuring out how this same silent language needs to evolve to teach the machines that are going to be driving right alongside us. Thanks for watching.
Don't forget to like and subscribe for more How Meets History.